So this week, Trump is actually building an ETF system with Crypto.com, or basically Trump's company, Trump Media, is announcing an ETF deal with Crypto.com. This could have a much bigger impact on altcoins like Cardano, XRP, Solana, Dogecoin, Litecoin, these made in America cryptos that have been categorized by CoinMarketCap and the White House and other groups about made in America cryptos. This could have a much bigger impact within the next, 100 days than a lot of people, maybe not 100 days, maybe like 130 days, 150 days, than a lot of people expect, kind of lining us up with the back half of 2025 in this crypto bull market. And so we're seeing a lot of signs when we see stuff like this that the crypto bull market is in fact still intact, and we could possibly continue to get that altcoin season that many people think are going to come based on the Bitcoin 4-year cycle, based on the Cardano chart, based on the XRP chart, based on the HBAR chart, based on all these things. Okay, how does Trump Media and an announcement with Crypto.com lead us into this? Let me just show you what I'm thinking about. Okay, so this Trump Media is basically the company that owns like Truth Social, and Donald Trump himself is the majority shareholder of that type of company. Now, they just announced that they're going to launch 3 ETFs with Crypto.com in basically what can be considered as like a licensing deal. Most of the deals that Donald Trump does are based on his name. So they like to use the Trump name, whether it's casinos, whether it's selling products, whether it's, in TVs or movie shows. This is kind of the same thing. You can think of it as Crypto.com doing most of the work on the back end and, using the president's name to sort of set that up, right? To set up a user base that would want to use these ETFs. Now, the thing about these ETFs, let me see if I can find it here. Right here, you can see how they're going to focus on a made in America focus. This becomes really important when we start to think about altcoins and how altcoins could get a little bit of a pump out of this, and how, Bitcoin and Ethereum could also benefit. But it's going to help us find regulatory clarity for altcoins that currently have pending requests out there with the SEC. Now, if you are a Cardano holder or XRP holder, you've been watching this probably, the Cardano ETFs being out there and have been acknowledged by the SEC. These are big deals, right? If we just take a second and go see what is considered a made in America token by Crypto Market Cap, we can see we have XRP, Solana, Dogecoin, Cardano, Chainlink. Down here is Litecoin. All of these have, or the majority of these have proposed ETFs out with the SEC currently, and the SEC has acknowledged them. Now, what's really interesting about this is that the SEC is on a timeline. The SEC is on a timeline. Okay, and real quick, we're talking about this ETF deal. And so Donald Trump and the Trump Media and Crypto.com, my understanding of what they want to do with this 3 ETF system is that they want to have one, or they want to focus on America. So you can think of it as they have an ETF for like mining stocks, Bitcoin mining stocks and other mining stocks, maybe like American mining stocks. They have an ETF focused on American manufacturing, but then they also have an ETF based on American crypto, what they classify American crypto, made in America. And so this is a big America push for ETFs to get people involved with the Trump name to invest in these things and kind of grow the market share of American ETFs. Now, what this does for altcoins is it's going to force regulatory clarity, because I highly doubt there's a scenario where Trump Media and Crypto.com get to have an ETF of made in America cryptos that don't already have an ETF. For example, it would make a lot of sense if Trump Media came out and said they're going to offer a Bitcoin Ethereum ETF. That makes a lot of sense because Bitcoin and Ethereum already have regulated ETFs in the market. What I think could happen is that because the Trump administration and Crypto.com want to push a Made in America ETF, which we see, these are the tokens that are made in America, and maybe they want to use just a couple that are in the top 10, XRP, Solana, Dogecoin, and Cardano. Maybe they want to add Chainlink, maybe they want to add HBAR, maybe they want to add Litecoin, so some basket of the top 10 cryptos in America, something like that. Whatever the case is, I think what's going to have to happen is, in order for the Trump Media and Crypto.com to get an ETF, a conglomerated ETF of a basket of cryptos, each one of those cryptos is going to have to be approved by the SEC, therefore getting its own ETF. Now, this becomes very, very interesting when you highlight the idea that what's currently going on with the current like Cardano and XRP and Litecoin and Dogecoin and Solana ETFs. Right here, the SEC has acknowledged a Cardano ETF, and they've acknowledged other ETFs for other altcoins, but they only have 180 days to approve that ETF. It says it right here. A final decision is expected within 180 days. SEC has about 45 to 90 days to approve, reject, or further review, which starts out in like a 30-day public comment period. So they do the companies submit the ETFs, the SEC acknowledges them, and then they get like a couple months after that to approve or reject or ask for updates, anything of that nature. And so when we think that Donald Trump and Trump Media and Crypto.com want to have this new product out to investors later this year, that means that maybe within 100 days, given how long these ETFs were submitted about a month ago, maybe a month and a half, so that's 30 plus days. Maybe we have 150 days until the ETFs get approved. Maybe we have 100 days. This is big news for altcoins, I think, because we have a president actively backing the passing of regulated SEC regulated funds in an ETF format, which we think means that they want to use altcoins based on the Made in America categorization. What this could mean for assets like ADA, XRP, Solana is that we start to see more institutional buying happening. This is an example of major institutional volume, something much larger than retail audiences can play a picture in. As we see volume like this is a classic retail style volume. Let's see, Cardano has about it ranges down here in the bear market around between 30 to 100, maybe 200 million ADA being changed every day on Binance. This is just Binance's volume. And at the very bottom, it was down here to around 20 million ADA volume being transacted every single day. When the institution walks in, now we have 300 million ADA being transacted in a week, right? And so, I'm sorry, all this is 1 week. So this 1 week, 300 million ADA being transacted. You can see now we're back down to retail. And so if we can see something like an ETF getting approved for Cardano, Solana, even a basket of ETFs, this could be very massive to push ADA and XRP and these altcoins further into the institutional hands, which will have pros and cons, right? There's a lot of debate, I think, going around about whether Trump should be able to do stuff like this. And I personally would say no. I would say that an acting president should not be able to own a company that is actively issuing ETFs with a crypto exchange. That seems a little counterintuitive to me, seems a little over the line to me, in my personal opinion. I actually don't even really think that a president should be able to kind of own companies like this while they're acting in office. I think the majority of their focus should be acting in office. So that's a whole different scenario. But regardless of that, when you think about what this can do on an institutional level of who's going to be buying these altcoins, when you open a market like that, you have companies that are vast supporters of Trump that could then just simply start buying what he says to buy. It'll also open the market to an ADA ETF, to an XRP ETF, to other ETFs that companies and institutions who are highly regulated can start to buy in a tax protected way. And so I think that this is actually could do some very crazy things for crypto in the long term, late 2025. It also might be a very good topping signal of when to kind of figure out when you're going to sell your crypto in the market. If we can imagine here for a second that maybe, 100 days out from now, we are, let's see, switch over to a daily chart. If we take about, this is just on Cardano, we take about 100 days, right? 150 days, maybe that's a little bit better. 150 days puts us out in August. So sometime between now and August, maybe in the summer, maybe the SEC starts approving ETFs or provides further guidance. Then we could see something where, we start to see institutions get into the ADA game, get into the altcoin game a little bit more, really having a great summer pump for these altcoins. Further down the line, I suspect that then it takes a little bit longer for the Trump ETFs to go into effect because they haven't been filed, right? They're not anywhere, right? They're just a figment of an idea at this point. And so that means that they could take much longer to get approved. Let's say that they don't get approved until back here in November or December. That might be a very good signal to understand, well, could this mean that the market is topping? Very similar to how the market rode the pump to $108,000 Bitcoin all the way up until Trump's inauguration. And then since Trump's inauguration, the market has really just been going down further, right? And so can this be a same kind of situation? I would watch out for that. I think that, first, I think that this is a very controversial thing for an acting president to be able to issue ETFs with a company, right? Second, I think that this could provide, I think that if Trump Media is able to get an ETF with crypto.com for Made in America cryptos, it could provide guidance that those cryptos have to get their own ETF first before they can be added to a basket of ETFs, just based on what we've seen so far in crypto, how ETFs are going. Third, I think that this could be a very good signal if Trump Media and the ETFs do not get approved until later in the crypto cycle. I'm talking October, November, December, maybe even January 2026. That could be a great signal for a top. I would watch out for that. If they get approved in like summer or August or October, maybe it's not so much of a topping signal. But if it's later in the cycle, later in 2025, could be a great indicator for a top in the market. And you should watch and see how that plays out with moving averages to see if that really is a good topping signal. For instance, if like we're right here, let's go weekly chart. If we're somewhere in like this range, right? Like September 2020, like September 2021, if the Cardano chart looks like this in 2025 and we get the news of a crypto ETF with crypto.com and Trump, and then the market starts to bleed into the 30-week moving average and breaks below the 30-week moving average, that could be sign for concern. That could be cause for concern. I would watch that if I were you. But that is what's going on. Trump Media filing for 3 crypto ETFs, showing that maybe we are going to get some altcoin ETFs in the near future.